Hey, what's up, YouTube fam? It's Dupree, aka Darth Hater here. Um, I figured I'd start a new series. This one's gonna be called My Star Wars Story. I realize that you guys don't know too much about me, aside from the fact that I was in the Vader fan film
Open fire!
and random cosplay and 501st stuff, and running around dressed up as Darth Vader and Lando. But I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of my Star Wars history. As far as when I can say I first saw my first Star Wars movie, I can't tell you that. I grew up in a household with 3 older brothers who were obsessed with Star Wars, so it was always playing in the background. And all we had at the time was the VHS tapes of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So from a toddler on up, that's all we had, and that's all I knew about. Weirdly enough, that's all I knew about. And we'd watch those on repeat. So we'd watch Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then all the Indiana Jones movies on repeat. That's the majority of what we watched in my house. Flash forward a few more years, my brothers move out, and it's just me by myself. I can vividly remember the first time I saw A New Hope, or back in the day, the original Star Wars movie. I was watching TV, and a commercial came on the USA Network with Carrie Fisher, and she was talking about how she was going to be hosting a full Star Wars weekend, all the movies back to back. I know I caught it late. I missed everything Friday and Saturday. Sunday comes around and they're playing the movies really, really late. And watching the commercials, I saw, obviously Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, but then there was also clips to another movie that I didn't recognize. Like, keep in mind, I had seen these movies over and over and over and over, so I wore out those VHS tapes. So I knew scene for scene what was happening, but then there were these new scenes with new people, and it looked a little older, and I'm like, wait, what? There's another one? Wait, there's not one, not two, but there's 3 Star Wars movies? Like, why didn't anybody tell me about this? I missed everything in the daytime, and they were playing them at night again. And I had school the next day, so what I did was I snuck downstairs when everybody was asleep and slowly turned the TV on and turned the volume all the way down to like a whisper, just so I could watch the original Star Wars. It's funny because I had like the rush of excitement, the exhilaration, and that you get when you're watching a fresh Star Wars movie in the theater for the first time. But that was for the first time at home on the TV for me. So, because I didn't grow up in the 70s or 80s, like I wasn't even born yet, obviously, when like these movies came out. Born a little bit after. Yeah, I'm carbon dating myself right here. It was amazing, and I didn't get to the crawl. Like I made it to about when Luke first meets Obi-Wan after the Tusken Raiders attack him. And I watched a good like 10-15 minutes of that before I heard rumbling upstairs, like my parents getting up for whatever reason. So then I quickly turned the TV off, ran back upstairs, pretended I was asleep, because I had school the next day. Waited for a little while, crept downstairs, and finished watching. And you had like, cool movies here and there and everything like that. Like, my brothers also liked Predator and Terminator and all those. But you didn't have movies that gave you like, grounded storytelling. I sort of knew who Luke Skywalker was. I just knew he was this rebel and Echo Base who learned to be a Jedi, but I didn't know where he came from. So in a sense, that A New Hope was my prequel. I'd watched all these movies, so I know where they ended up, but I didn't know where they came from. But I finished A New Hope, and then the next day I was so late for school. I woke up at like 9 o'clock and I'm supposed to be at school at 8. But it was worth it. got in trouble, but it was definitely worth it. Don't do that, kids. Definitely worth it. And then I remember my birthday being a few months later, and then I asked my parents, could they buy me the box set of the Star Wars trilogy, because up until that point, like I said, I had no clue there were 3 movies. And I'm like, why did you hold out? Why did you not, where was I when these movies came out? Like, why did you not tell me? So I asked them to buy me the VHS copies, these copies right here. I still have them to this day. Up until that point, you didn't really get a lot of Star Wars content at all. Like, after the movies came out, the late 80s and then into the 90s, Star Wars was dead. Like, there was nothing going on aside from, obviously the toys would be out, but nobody was talking about it. But I vividly remember seeing at the beginning of these VHS tapes, Leonard Maltin. I had no clue who Leonard Maltin was, but now I know just because of this VHS tapes. Interviewing George Lucas about the filmmaking process, what he went through, like directing, each one of these movies, like his thoughts, like, up until that point, and then the future. This was the early 90s, and in his head, he had just started, penning the prequels, The Phantom Menace. So it was a nice treat just, to get inside his mind and, see where these characters came from and be able to appreciate this whole trilogy fully. Naturally, when the movies got re-released, the special edition a few years later, it was a big deal for me. It was a really big deal. Not only are my favorite movies getting re-released, but they're having, updated with special effects. And it also would have been my first time seeing them in the theater. Like, I vividly remember watching A New Hope for the first time in the theater and just appreciating it so much more. I mean, Empire Strikes Back is always going to be my favorite Star Wars movie, but A New Hope just, that movie just feels like home. It's simple for today's, storytelling and movies and stuff like that, but, George Lucas delved within, it's simple, but you have to appreciate, a simple story with, the hero's journey. And it was nice to see where that hero came from at the end of the day. But anyway, this has been my Star Wars story. I'm going to continue with these. I have a lot of stories going over the years. I've had a crazy life. I'm still living a crazy life. So this series is going to continue. I'm going to go with I'll give you guys my history, with costuming, the 501st, conventions, the Vader fan film. I know a lot of you guys have been messaging me to talk about that. Run-ins and experiences with, Star Wars, cast members. Just general things that happened over the years that some of these stories are hard to believe, but they truly did happen. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know what Star Wars stories or questions you guys have, and I'll gladly be able to answer them in this. Let me know what you thought about this story. Yeah, I grew up with just 2 Star Wars movies, not 3. Which is funny. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you get updates from when I make my newest videos. And don't forget to share. And as always, guys, may the Force be with you. Bye.